This just happened. We just found out that Charlie Kirk got shot.
This felt like one of those nights where the internet moved faster than people could think. A clip hit everyone's feed, the room went quiet, and the first question wasn't about scorecards or rivalries. It was, what just happened? A well-known political figure was reportedly shot during a campus event. The footage spread in minutes, and the reaction split the fight world down the middle. Some people were sad, some were angry, a few said things that made it worse. It pulled MMA right into the storm, whether anyone wanted that or not. The early details came fast. Reports said the shooting happened at a university event. Different angles of the moment started popping up across social media. Before most fans even finished the first clip, there were already 10 more on their timeline. One said this, one said that, and by the end of the hour, people were arguing more about what the moment meant than what actually happened. What cut through the noise were the official steps, images of a person of interest shared by authorities, a request for tips, and talk of evidence being collected. It was the shift from rumor to process. The story didn't feel any lighter, but at least it felt less like a right behind that came the reactions from fighters. That's where things got heated. Sean Strickland posted a take that set everything on fire. He admitted his first instinct was to watch the video and that it gave him a quick rush. He said that's what the internet does to people now. It makes everyone numb. A lot of fans didn't hear the second part. They only heard the first line and they were done with him. People called it cold, cruel, clout chasing. Others said, he's not wrong about how broken the web is. Either way, once that clip left his phone, he was never getting it back. The words were out there, and the comment section turned into a cage fight with no bell. Not every fighter went that route. Bryce Mitchell sounded crushed.
I'm so upset about Charlie Kirk's passing. I can't really go to sleep right now. I keep thinking of his wife and kids. That's what gets me, because I know he wasn't in any pain. And I also know that Charlie Kirk was a extremely brave Christian, and he inspired me to make this post. He was the opposite of a coward. He said everything he believed and made it be known to people because he loved our country. This country's gonna burn if we don't stand up and take it back.
Colby Covington posted a straight tribute. Patriot, leader, kind soul, husband, father. Pray for the family, pray for the country. Fans who don't usually like him shared it anyway, because the tone was clear. Show respect, don't pile on. You didn't need to support his politics to understand the point. The message was simple, and simple travels well on a day like that. Other voices came in from the wider fight scene too. Some grapplers and coaches said moments like this should make people speak carefully, not louder. A few wrote that silence isn't always safety, but cheering loss is never the move. It wasn't about being flawless or perfect. It was about putting the person and the family first. In a week full of hot takes, that stance cut through. But the internet being the internet, the mess showed up fast. Some people posted memes, jokes, or flat-out rude comments under the family's posts. A few tried to turn the tragedy into content for their own pages. Others started digging for clips to prove theories. A hat tip here, a hand motion there, a ring that moved from one finger to another like a movie signal. You've seen that cycle before. Somebody slows a video to quarter speed and suddenly they see a plan that wasn't there. The official updates kept saying the same thing. Send real info to investigators. Let forensics do the work. And stop turning strangers into suspects because a shadow looked weird when paused. There were Law and Order beats too. People asked if security at the venue was enough, if routes in and out were controlled, if the speaker's team had the right setup for that kind of event. Those are fair questions, and there will be time for them. But in the first 48 hours, the focus was basic. Confirm what happened, find who did it, and keep the public from pushing false leads that waste time. That's not exciting, but it's how real cases move. It's also how families get answers that hold up when emotions cool. If you followed MMA for any length of time, you know the sport runs on feeling. That's why this hit so hard. The culture loves big moments and louder reactions. But the fight game also has a code. We can enjoy a crazy knockout and still understand that the cage isn't real life. In the cage, both athletes sign up, both accept the risk, both live by rules. A real-world attack breaks all of that. It's not a show, it's not hype, it's not a storyline to spin. It's someone's life, someone's family, someone's last day. Crossing that line, cheering it on, memeing it, goes against everything that makes this sport special. That's why people locked onto Strickland's dopamine line. It wasn't just a bad way to say it, it was a mirror. We all know that feeling when a wild clip pops up and your thumb stops. The shock hits, you can't look away, then the next clip, and the next. That loop is the machine. The problem starts when we turn off the part of us that says, hold up, this is real. There are people behind this. The best part of fight culture is heart, coming back from the edge, showing respect after war, lifting a rival up. The worst part of online culture is the opposite, treating everything like a quick hit and a punchline. We get to choose which side we feed.
Listen, I know you guys seen that post, and there's a lot of you that said, what the f Sean is talking about, but you also need to understand there are millions and millions of people that can relate to that, and not only that, they encourage the violence. So what you're doing if you don't acknowledge that there is a cancer in America being fed by corporations and government, all you're doing is just prolonging the problem. Like, this is going to happen more frequent and more often, and you see it. So unless we really address the problem and say there is a mental health crisis in America that is being caused by government and corporations, it's just going to get worse.
Inside gyms and group chats, you could feel that choice happening in real time. Managers told their people to breathe before posting. Coaches reminded fighters that a tweet can burn goodwill they spent years building. Fighters who sent love to the family or told fans to keep it human came out of this looking like leaders. The ones who chased a headline out of a family's pain looked small. That's not politics, that's character. The fight world keeps receipts. Fans do too. Then there were the campus arguments. Some said events like this should never be held because they bring too much heat. Others said shutting people down only makes things worse. And then a third group said the obvious. Whatever your view, no one should be afraid for their life at a public event. That part should be simple. You can argue all day about who should speak where, but safety is the base level. If you can't meet that, you don't have a real debate, you have chaos. Media added its own twist. Traditional outlets moved slow, as they should. Social media moved fast, as it always does. Fast beat slow by a mile. Clips were cut, reposted, recaptioned, stripped of context, and pushed into feeds on a loop. That speed shapes how people feel before facts land. You don't have to like that to admit it's true. Which means if you post in those first hours, your words carry more weight than you think. A line meant for your followers can turn into the headline for the day. That's why caution matters, even when the timeline is screaming at you to be first. There was also the new strange thing we're all dealing with in 2025, AI voices and deepfake edits showing up almost immediately after big events. Some clips tried to recreate the man's voice to offer comfort or to push a message. Some fans said it helped, others said it felt wrong. Either way, it's here now. The line between memory, tribute, and manipulation is going to be tested again and again. If you're a fighter or a brand, it's smart to know where you stand on that before it hits your world. As the official case moved forward, there were small, steady updates. Images shared, tips collected, a suspect identified, evidence discussed, legal steps taken. No drama, no movie plot, just the slow path that actually holds up in court. That pace is frustrating online because the web wants everything now. But if you want the truth and a clean case, you have to let the steps happen. You can care without guessing. You can watch without adding noise. You can feel without turning it into a game. So what does all this mean for MMA? It means the culture around the sport is under the same pressure as everyone else. The world keeps telling you to pick a side in 5 seconds or get dragged for waiting, but real life almost never deserves that speed. You can think before you post. You can say I don't know yet without being weak. You can hold 2 thoughts at once, be heartbroken for a family, and be angry at the state of the world. That balance is the grown-up version of toughness. The cage teaches that, whether we notice or not. Breathe, keep your hands up, make a clean choice, and don't do something you can't take back. There's also a career side to this. Sponsors and fans remember moments like this. They remember who offered comfort and who chased clout. They remember who made it about the person and who made it about themselves. Internet memory is short until it isn't. One careless post can hang on you longer than a loss. One kind message can earn respect you can't buy. When the next crisis comes, and it will, ask yourself a simple question before you hit send. If the person's family reads this, will they feel seen or used? Another thing that keeps coming up is free speech. People argue that everyone should be able to say what they want, even if it's ugly. Others say lines exist and always have. Here's a practical way to think about it. You can say whatever you want, but what you choose to say tells us who you are. If your first move is to laugh at a death, you told us more about you than about the world. If your first move is to pray or to stay quiet until facts land, you told us that too. Speech is free. Reputation is not free. By now, most of the wild theories have lost steam. The frame-by-frame breakdowns didn't hold up. The secret signals didn't turn into real proof. What stayed solid were the basics: the event, the act, the search for the person who did it, and the steady work of building a case. It's not flashy. It doesn't scratch the itch for a thriller. It's just the truth, and that's what the family needs most. Every time we choose views over truth, the worst parts of the internet win. If you made it this far, here's the real takeaway. The fight world is built on respect. You can talk your talk before the walk. You can sell a fight. You can be funny, sharp, even mean inside the game. But when it's real life, when a wife loses a husband and kids lose a dad, you put the act down. You don't have to like the man's beliefs to respect his life. You don't have to agree with the crowd to feel for the people who are hurting. That's not soft. That's strong, and we need more of it. The story will keep moving. There will be more updates, more paperwork, more hearings. New clips will try to grab your attention. But this moment isn't about being first or loudest. It's about who we are when the cameras aren't on. Save the cheers for the cage. Save the jokes for the weigh-in. When it's real, be real. Show heart. That's the part of this sport that never goes out of style. I want to hear from you. Keep it honest, keep it human. Drop respect over clout in the comments so I know you're with me. I'm checking the comments, and before you head out, hit the like button and subscribe for more. Let's keep this community strong and real.